What's going on, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to RIZZ on the board. You might think chess is just a silly, boring game, but I'm here to tell you, it can be saucy. Using a game that I had off stream, I'm going to teach you the art of timing and piece placement. We start off with pawn e4, pawn g6, pawn d4, and then fianchettoing the bishop to g7. This is a modern defense. I'm playing an aggressive game at this moment, so after bishop g7, I simply play pawn e5. Now, after my opponent plays pawn to d6, I know there's a chance that our queens are going to get traded. First tip, if you want to RIZZ in chess to the max, it's a great idea to keep queens on the board. So after pawn d6, there's a natural move, such as knight to f3, covering the two pawns in the center. But I'm feeling a little frisky. So instead of pawn to f3, instead of knight to f3, I actually play pawn to f4. Feeling a little frisky, leaving some opportunities on my king side, leaving myself exposed. So we get takes e5, and then my opponent plays bishop to f5, which I'm relieved to see because I'm trying to keep as much tension on the center as possible, and I don't want to give up my queen. Bishop to f5 also allows me to develop more, so I naturally play knight to f3. We get knight c6, bishop to g5, and then my opponent plays bishop to g3, which, if you know things about chess, you don't want to move the same piece twice in the opening. You want to get developed. So I know, maybe, there's some sparks flying here. So I play bishop to f2, keeping it solid, keeping it clean. My opponent then plays queen to d5, keeping the tension on the center and allowing the move of e6, which relieves the pin on the queen. So I simply castle here, further protecting the king and covering the knights. It gives me the nice half-open file as well. e6, knight to c3, attacking the queen, a developing move. I'm not trying to take the queen. You can't tell them that. I don't want to take the queen here. If I take the queen, the game is over. Thankfully, they don't sack up front, and they move the queen back to d7, staying with the king. A great theme if you want to RIZZ. Now, I actually really like this position here, not from just a game standpoint, but from a standpoint of having fun. So rather than play anything too aggressive, I have the simple move of bishop to b5. So I play that. It puts a pin on the knight, addressing the queen to the king, and now my opponent has to do something to keep the game going. Thankfully, they read the situation and they take the knight. Why is this a great move? Because it allows me to take with the queen and bring my queen out. It's like they were thinking of me. It's just a lovely move on their part. Like, I can't deny that, like, there's something going on here, you know? Like, it allows this pin to be fully effective as well. It's a beautiful just lane for the queen and the rook to attack the king, and the game goes on. So after queen takes, I have hung a pawn on d4. Now, there are times when you don't want to take a piece, because if you take the piece, the magic is ruined. If you're playing the game, this is an okay takes, because I've hung it, and after queen takes, the position is alive and naturally gives a check, which is a nice little, hey, like a nice little nudge, being a little flirtatious. I've hung the pawn. I know I've hung the pawn. It's not important. What's important is we keep playing. So after queen takes, it gives a nice, lovely check. Just let me know, hey, I see you. I see you over there. Now I take about 20 seconds to think here, because after a check like this, you have to respond appropriately, okay? Now after queen takes, I have three options. I can play king h1, I can play queen blocks on e3, I can play bishop blocks on e3. Now the best move here for the computer is to play king h1. That is not the move I played. After 20 seconds of thinking, I realized I need to respond in kind and play bishop to e3, asking the opponent, hey, do you really want to check me? Let's also put the threat back on the queen, so they're going to have to move the queen again, which is always just a lovely thing to see. Now, believe it or not, the best move for black in this position is to take the bishop, so says the computer. I didn't look too far into this line, to be honest, because I like thinking that the RIZZ and romance was so palpable on the board that the computer doesn't even care, and it's just going along with it. I don't know how computers RIZZ, but had the queen taken here, it would have been a nice gesture. Like, I'll be honest, the computer actually has some RIZZ, but that's not what happened. That's not what happened. So what happens is my opponent plays queen back to d7. After queen to d7, I play a natural move that is strong on its own, but doesn't seem too strong. You know what I mean? You don't want to come off too strong. So I play rook to d1, claiming the open d file, and the opponent goes queen to e7, covering the king. Queen is protected, seemingly. Now, I'm in an awkward spot here, because if you play chess at all, you're probably seeing the obvious move. Bishop takes with check. You don't have to take that back, but it's a natural move. So takes, and then I have queen check. And if anything, if king here, if queen here, I'm taking the rook with check. So I'm now in a position where I can take from my opponent. If you don't want to be too aggressive on the board and take things easy, let your opponent know, hey, I'm just here having a good time. A great move, personally, is to just sack the queen outright. Queen f7, that's the only other thing that makes sense on the board. They have to take, I have to take, they have to take. The game is now alive and full. Black is ahead, but I don't care. I'm not playing for the win. I'm playing for the RIZZ, okay? Now in the end, I decided that the queen sack might be, you know, bold, romantic, but I'm also down a piece, and we have little time together. It's only a blitz game. So I have to play the obvious move. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. They play king to f8. Solid move, that's fine. I have to take here, like objectively. You just have to take the rook. So I play takes, the only move, which is so beautiful. The queen has to block. The king can't go anywhere. So now I'm put in a position here where things have escalated swiftly, and I don't want it to end too soon. Now I play the move, rook to d8, which is a good move. It's not the best move. Best move would be bishop to c5 check, knight to e7, and then I play rook d8. And then my opponent would have to take the pawn here to safeguard the king. I would then check, there, takes, yada yada yada. The game will be over soon. But we're not just playing to win. So I take with rook. They move the knight, which is fair. That's not the move I wanted to see. I wanted to see something like this, or even this, offering like, hey, I get it. You're going to win here, but I'm going to win too. So knight to h6 happens. Then I'm like, okay, I see you, but this is getting over too quickly. So instead of taking and winning the game, I play this suave little move, rook to b8. Taking a beat, taking 4 seconds, just to let it sit, let it ruminate. I say, look, man, my queen's over here. What are you going to do about it? You know? You got queens staring each other down, a king. I was pretty proud of it. It doesn't matter. It's whatever. So, knight to f5 happens. More development, stable position. Bishop is still stuck, however. So now I play the check. Because what else am I going to do here? I've offered this. They didn't take. They could have taken with queen. Just to keep it on theme. You could take with queen here. I'll take with queen. You play this. I'll even give a little check. Little check. And that's mate. But I could keep the game going. I could play this. I could do a little draw action if they want. You know what I mean? I could take the rook. I could sack and return to keep the game alive. Just sack all my material here. And look at this. It's now all of a sudden a beautiful game. I'm up 2. But we could keep playing if we want. That's not what happens. Knight here. I play the bishop check because the time has come. The game needs to end. I take a full 10, 12 seconds here. Just waiting, deciding what I want to do. It looks like they've had enough. Fine. This has been great. So they play knight to e7, covering the check. I wait a good amount of time here because I've made in one. And I try to give off the vibe like, hey, this has been fun. Loved playing with you. Maybe we should do it again sometime. And I like your style. And so I play rook to e8, taking the queen. Very thematic. Last move of the game. And that's checkmate. Lovely. You might be thinking to yourself, Shane, you're crazy. This sounds like a schizophrenic's paradise or something. And to that, I would say, yeah, maybe. But the point is, you can have a lot of fun in chess, and it doesn't have to be just win, win, win. That's all I want. Takes. I don't care about you. You know what I mean? I think it's a great opportunity to like meet people and to discover a little bit about each other and to just have fun. It doesn't have to be too serious. If you like the video and you want to see more RIZZ on the board, or you want to learn more about chess, hit the sub button, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.